We will not kick off our first episode of Generation Artax by introducing ourselves because that puts Lori and Kim in a cold sweat. Instead, we take turns introducing the other sisters to you to give you a lay of the land of what you're wandering into. Plus, how Terri wanted to get out of every relationship with boys, #gay. Lori was always told she was too much, and Kim was so happy it was annoying. Welcome to Generation Artax.
Are you ready for us? All right. Come on, Kim. I'm interviewing you. Everybody knows I am the star of this show. As we see.
So one of the things we said we are going to do was do a little bit of an introduction and talk about it, rather than like everyone hates introducing themselves, but when you've known someone as long as we have known each other, that is actually easier to do. So let's just do a little something like that for people who don't know us, which is most people. What we want to do is you don't know us necessarily, and if you do, maybe you don't know a lot about us, but we know each other really well. So what we're going to do is, instead of introducing ourselves, we're going to explain who each other is.
Okay.
Can
I just say, I don't know how often you have to, Terri, you probably have to do this all the time. Kim, you probably never have to do this, but I'm sure you had to at some point. Will you go around the room?
Yeah, no, I want to vomit.
Every dinner, everything.
Oh God. I don't hear a single thing. I don't learn anything about anything.
Because you're thinking about what you're going to say.
I can hear my heartbeat in my ears for 4 people leading up to me.
Yep.
And then I don't even remember what I say. It doesn't even matter.
Lori, no one likes doing it. No one likes doing it. I hate it too. And every time I say it in a different way. And I feel like I'm stumbling. And sometimes I feel like I get nervous. Like I had to do it the other day. They're like, Terri, they said, they're like, you have 90 seconds to pitch what I do. And
90
like,
seconds is long.
That's what you do. At least, I mean, not
like, because I had to
have an elevator pitch for what you do in 10 seconds.
But
you're like, tell me something about yourself. Say something interesting about yourself.
No, well, what people do now, we do this so much at all different dinners that people be like, all right, let's just say one thing you tried this week that you'd never tried before, this year that you'd never tried. So it trains your attention. Those are the best kind of icebreakers. No one wants to hear someone's bio. No one wants to hear someone read their LinkedIn profile. But they did give me like a minute and a half to talk about it. And even though I know how to talk about what I do, and I want to you can tell when someone's giving a pitch. I was like, listen, and I just talked about it. But in my mind, I was going, sometimes it's hard to write and it's hard to think about what you want to say. And I help people with that. So come to my thing. Go to terrijustbeshow.com and maybe you put your email, there's a little thing and you put your email in and then you'll be connected and I'm out of time. Thank you. Goodbye. I'd help you with that.
That's the best part.
I hate it. So then let's talk about each other.
Okay. Yeah. So to avoid having to talk about ourselves, there are 2 people. There are 2 other sisters who will define the other sister, the remaining sister, and that is how we will introduce ourselves. So it is defining ourselves through their perspective.
Okay, with no prep.
We're allowed to comment, though. There is no you
my
can't
perspective.
What?
Let's do Kim first. Sorry.
I was going to say, obviously, we start with Terri, but okay. Let's start in the middle. The middle's the best spot.
Do you want to do the birth order?
Sure.
I think that makes the most sense. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm Terri.
Okay.
I'm the firstborn.
We didn't ask you.
Yeah, you're not supposed to define it. No, we just established that's not how we're doing it.
Okay, good.
Do you want to say something about yourself?
I can help you with that. Put your email in the box.
Terri is the firstborn.
She is. She's gay.
I am very fucking gay, it turns out. Literally, I came out when I turned 50. A few months later.
Terri's gay, but
she lives in the big city. She's cats.
And as she reflects on her life and we look back at our journals, we have learned that the breadcrumbs were there all along about her gayness. It was very obvious.
I have a lot of make out with boys entries that we're going to hear about. Let's not pretend I wasn't lying. I wasn't keeping a secret.
I didn't think you were lying. I think you had it in you all the time.
Obviously. Sure. I mean, it's really the haircuts that told the story, not so much the dance.
I mean, those were the 90s. I had short hair. I wore Dansko clogs and I drove a Subaru and went to folk shows. No one told me.
No, those haircuts were not representative of other people.
God, they're like my whole life. Everyone was like, she's gay.
No.
Not like that. She is self-employed, has had her own business. The majority of her adult career has been, would you say? Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I've been, from working for myself longer. Over a decade.
She's a speaker, a public speaker.
A
She's
writer,
a writer.
very like a skilled writer with a second book on the way.
Okay. From your lips to God's ears.
Book out there, second book on the way.
She's a branding expert. And she was once a guest on Anderson Cooper as a relationship expert.
Wow.
True.
And on TV, on an episode of Snapped.
Many episodes of Snapped.
So
I was on,
weird.
if you're watching one of those crime or ID discoveries, you'll see my face.
Growing up, since we will be sharing our journals and what was happening in our lives during those younger teenage years. So Terri and I are, since we're 6.5 years apart, we just socially were completely unaligned. So everything going like, I mean, I could see, the friends that came over and knew who your boyfriends were, and all that. But like the details of what was going on in your life, Kim would know. But like I was not. Same way you were unaware of, what was going on in my life in those years as well. So it's extra interesting to hear it from my perspective, because a lot of them are newer stories or of a very, very like fuzzy memory of who you might be talking about. Right?
Mm-hmm. But there's a gap. Kim is sort of the connector between those two.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Terri has made me laugh in my life harder than most, that both of you, pretty equal, but to the point where I cannot breathe, I cannot cry, I cannot speak, and I cry. And I peed in my pants. All the bodily fluids come out of me and I am paralyzed with laughter.
Wow. Thank you. That's very nice.
That's a fact. Okay, so that's Terri.
That's me.
Okay.
Kim is the second born. And she is, in many ways, I think of her as sort of not just in birth order, but really the center that holds a lot of things together.
Yeah.
Like
I'd say
Lori-
whole family.
The whole family. But like whether she likes it or not, and probably doesn't like it, she has been in our lives this sort of central
like it.
steadying piece. She doesn't like it. Everyone goes to her. She doesn't like it. She's
No, I don't
also the family archivist. She's always taken the picture. She's been tracking and keeping records of our lives through images, before Instagram, long before any of that. You were really into it. I kind of wasn't.
Social media was like made for me.
It was
Yeah.
really tailor-made. But she really has been the
We
person.
resisted it for a little bit too. I had to talk you into Facebook.
I don't think I quite understood.
Right.
And now I think it's magic.
Kim raised me in a lot of ways, and I can say that because our mom also says that. She's the one who sat with me, did my homework. She's the one who would drive and pick me up. She's the one who I would call if I was running late or going to stay out late. Mom would say that she could hear my voice on Kim's answering machine, and then she knew that I was communicating with Kim, so it was fine. Like she didn't need to know what was happening. But like
answering machine.
yeah.
I know. I had my volume up.
An example of the difference between Kim and Terri, I'd say, was how they would wake me up for school sometimes in the morning. So Kim
This is fair.
would wake me up the way I wake up Evie now a lot of times. She would like crawl into my bed and she would like nuzzle my face and give me kisses and be like, it's time to get up.
Oh my God, so
Yes,
sweet.
very, very sweet. Terri, on the other hand, one day, I had one of those really loud light switches. You remember how loud those big
Yes.
old clunky ones?
Clink, clink. Yeah.
She would go like
Yeah.
snap, like flipped it open, threw a cold, wet washcloth across the room that splatted onto my face, and then she would just be like, and then leave. Like that was it. That's how she would wake me up.
It's considerably cruel.
It's actually really impressive that it would hit my face.
Your aim.
The aim.
It was a sort of like I got a real kick out of
I
doing
wasn't
that.
upset.
It was like it was fucked up, but it was funny. I remember being like wet it, and then like open the door and be like,
Like you
It's
thought
so
you were
fucked
being
what?
mischievous.
I was being mischievous,
And you always thought mischievousness? Mischief?
it's mischievous. I think.
Mischievous.
What
Mischievous?
about it?
That's fun.
I like to play tricks on Lori.
Tricks.
Lori was a
Little
trick.
tricks.
I love little tricks.
She's a trickster. She was like a
A
leprechaun.
trickster. But also, she's my little sister, of course. But I also found a journal entry where
little sister. Wake her up that
she was
way.
a little though. I might have woken Kim up that way.
You might have.
I might have.
I feel like you would remember that.
I found an entry where it said, "Dad poured cold water over the shower." Isn't that a mean trick? He filled a thing with cold water, and when we were in the shower, threw it over on top of us in the shower. On top of me. That's where we get those things. That's where we get that trickster vibe from.
Yes.
But Kim was
I remember Dad taking Kim's hand and holding it at his butt and farting on it.
no.
Do you remember that?
I remember going, "Ah!"
He needed rough and tumble sons, some of them.
In the
Wow. That's
Yeah, it's pretty
something.
gross.
Kim is the most, I'd say, because Lori and I are a lot alike. Kim is sort of the acid to our base, or maybe
No,
the base to our
I'm the base
acid.
to your
You're
acid.
the base to the acid. And
for sure.
congenial, optimistic, easygoing, sweet. I remember being just really like annoyed by her when I was young. I was like, why is she so happy? Like, what is it? Like, I kind of like her better as an adult because she's kind of evened out. You were so happy I couldn't relate to it.
My high school friends say that I was almost psychotically positive, but it for
I
some.
would have
But
thought you had a problem. Like, I was
no, no. But they do say we've talked about this, and Katie and Meg, and they say, but somehow you pulled that off without being annoying because I had a lot of friends.
it was genuine and it wasn't covering up trauma. You weren't using it.
That's what it was.
No.
It was true.
genuine.
I just couldn't relate to it. And so after Kim grew up a little bit and like went through some times, I sensed something come out of her later. The dry wit, the edge. I remember somewhere in our 20s you saying something a little bit edgy, and I was like, "Ooh, look at this bitch!" And I was like, "I like her better now." But anyway, she is the sweetest, the nicest
Yes.
of all of us.
She like always invited me to things. Like I feel like a lot of big sisters are like, stop like hanging out with my friend, like stop, leave us alone. We're in my room now, like get out. And she would invite me to come to the movies with her and her friends.
That's
Like
really
she
sweet.
brought me, she got me drunk for the first time.
Aw.
And like Katie's house, I was way too young.
I don't remember that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Kim was like, "You need
I
to
had
know-
beer, it was
I
partying.
mean, I didn't even drink until I was like just before senior year of high school.
So
at
it was
all.
that time. So I was like between 8th and 9th grade, and I immediately got exhausted. And you brought me upstairs to the bed, had 2 twin beds in that room.
Yes.
And
yes.
then I barely remember much. You took me to the car, got me home. I went to bed, and then she called me, on our own line, right?
line.
I pick up the phone. I'm like, hello, and she's like, you have to come downstairs and eat a bagel and drink a glass of water. And I was like, no, I just want to sleep. She's like, you have to. And she remember we keep the bagels were in the freezer.
Lender's Bagels.
You toasted them, put butter on it, had a huge glass of water, and I like came, sat down at the head of the table, and she's like, you have to finish that water and finish that bagel before you go to bed. I'm like, take care of me.
I feel like I did that in college for you too.
I don't feel like you and I had any social interaction, Kim. Like, truthfully, you had a very bustling social life. And I had my friends, and it wasn't like, I don't think I was bringing you to
Because
shit.
I was a freshman when you were a senior, and at the beginning of your senior year, you were already detaching for college.
No, but I'm talking about even before that. We were in
Yeah, but, like,
junior high, grammar school.
Well, I have a journal entry from 92 that says otherwise. At the ready. It goes with this theme. It's all like tied into this theme.
Well, Kim, you were very socially advanced. You had a boyfriend before I had a boyfriend. You were like, I remember.
She always had a boyfriend.
She always had a boyfriend, and I have somewhere, I don't know where this journal is, but I remember being like, either thinking it and or writing it and being like, Kim has a boyfriend. She makes out with her boyfriend. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever going to like me. And I was in 8th grade, and I was like, I'm in 8th grade, and no one likes me. And people like Kim, I don't know that anyone would like me.
Kim, do you have a boyfriend in 5th grade?
Yup.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the thing, even though Kim's almost always had a boyfriend, it never was like, oh, that's the girl that needs a boyfriend.
No.
No, and Lori, somebody said that in college when I was a senior and you were a freshman, and you bit their heads off.
Someone
You
said
go-
that too. What do you mean? What'd they say?
Someone said that to her. Oh, is your sister the kind of girl who just always needs a boyfriend? And you go, no, there's just too many guys who want her, and it just takes a while to get through them. Or to give them all a chance, or something. It wasn't like get through them because I was definitely like, not
Dependent.
sleeping around or anything. Like
No,
I wasn't
no,
like
no.
no, like not at all. Like I still stand by today. Everyone I've ever dated, I think, was a super nice guy,
And you
I
picked
stand
well.
by good. Every single one was like such a good person.
So can't
It's
say
really rare for people to say, but you were really good with your picker. Meanwhile, people are like,
Never,
if you're-
no one's ever broken up with me, so I don't feel angry at anybody. So
you know
maybe
what?
that's why.
Me neither.
that. I was dumped a lot.
Wait, back up a sec, Kim. Were people like, is your sister, your older sister, the kind that never has a boyfriend? You were like, yeah.
No, that never came up because people always had crushes on you. So whether you were
Yeah, it
dating
didn't
someone or
matter.
not, it wasn't.
I thought about it recently. I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and I was saying, I don't know. I don't think anyone's ever broken up with me. I think if they did, I pushed them to do it. I was like, man, I'm kind of done with you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been dumped. I was never heartbroken, and like heartbroken over a guy. Like maybe because, yeah.
Really? Crazy.
I was once when someone cheated on me, and I said, "Why don't you take some time?" And he took time, and then I was really sad. But he didn't like break up with me out of the blue.
Yeah,
but
so
that
I don't
was
have
the
any
only time that
rage. I
happened.
never
No one
felt
else
betrayed.
cheated on
I
me.
never felt like rage at any guys. I just think they were all really, really, really good guys to this day. I would stand by every one of them. Starting in 5th grade, every single one of them I think was a really good person.
Lori, you said you have been broken up with.
Yeah. Like sometimes they were like the short things. It was more like the beginning. I'm not talking about all the long relationships. I'm talking about like where it's like 2 months and no one, you're not sure where you're at. And then I would get dumped.
Okay,
I
2 months and you weren't in love with him. Or anything.
Terry, remember we went to
It would be
Florida?
devastating.
Terry, remember we went to Florida because you guys, mom made us go to Florida because I was overwhelmed with little kids. And so that was the point of the trip. But Lori had just been broken up with and she was.
Well, I mean, I was broken up with, but I wasn't. It was, we
were in a
mutually
state.
decided that we shouldn't be together since I liked him more than he liked me.
That was a good decision on both of your parts.
Yeah. You should never chase. You should never chase.
Yeah, that was painful. Yeah, that was rough. That was a rough one. I find that sometimes those shorter ones are more painful because you don't get to the point where you're like,
They don't wear out.
yeah, like say you're in a long enough relationship, you can see all the reasons why it's a good idea, even if they beat you to the punch, right? Like, but when it's short and it's
all
still
potential.
exciting, and you're still excited to see where it goes, and they're like,
Yeah.
No.
I was always tired. I was
That
always tired
was-
with them.
that happened to me a lot, and I found that 2 months was always the mark.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, it was always the mark because I felt I wrote about this somewhere. I'll find it. My personality is just clearly not for everyone in terms of like I wasn't just fun. And so it just was like I found, but here's the thing. I won't say that I was often told I was too much, which is something
hate
that
that.
I hate.
That's the worst.
It's like you're not enough. That's it.
Yeah,
correct.
That's all it is.
You're not enough, or you're too much. And then I
No,
said all of
no.
it. What?
I'm saying the guys are not enough.
Yeah,
There
when
is
people
no
say you're
someone
too much. You say, okay, go ahead, go settle for less.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not enough. That's it.
I remember
understand that.
someone distinctly, I think it was when I was 30. I think so. Late 20s or 30. And I remember him being like, you're too all or nothing. You're too extreme. You need to figure out how to be less like that.
Well, I don't have to figure out shit.
I distinctly remember that. And I was like, and I remember saying to him, why do I have to figure out how to change? Like,
Why do I have to conform?
maybe that's just how I am, right? And I think the idea was if you want to be in a relationship with any
gonna
man,
have to
you are
tone
going
it
to have
down.
to. Yeah.
That is cold.
I don't like that one bit.
Well, I
No.
think you chose well, Kimmy. You chose well.
I did. I picked my favorite.
You picked your favorite.
Plucked him right out of Boston College.
Plucked
Yeah.
him right out.
I picked my top favorite, but I do still stand by every single person I ever dated.
totally.
To this day, follow them all on social media, and they all have like beautiful wives and beautiful kids and whatever, but like all very good
I
humans.
happen to, I don't know, I think that it is also attributable to you and your sense of like calm, your sense of positivity. Like it's not a coincidence, right, that happened that way.
No, because I have a real pet peeve about people who are not them no matter what. It's the authenticity thing.
Yeah.
When someone
no,
is hot and
totally.
cold and you don't know what you're getting,
And
like that kind of thing.
Good for Lori being young and saying, "Why do I have to change though?"
Yeah.
A lot of other people would be like, "Okay,
Being
I gotta
young, it was
change."
like 10 years ago.
But it
Oh.
still felt like it was
She said
still
30.
a rejection.
Oh.
So even though, then that's the thing that's so frustrating. Because even though you're like, I don't deserve that, it's more like, why is it so hard to find anyone who just likes me for me? And
Well,
it's,
you did.
I know, but
You did.
it,
Right.
but it
You
took
ultimately
a
did.
really, took a long time. And in the meantime, it just feels like, but that's not my problem. It was,
No, it's not your
Right.
problem. It's not your
right?
problem. Right.
But it still feels.
I would say the same. Looking back, I really loved. I loved people that I dated. Some really good guys, but I often found I was like, "Ooh, I got it," and now what do I do with it? And I remember always going to mom, like after I was in a relationship or dating someone, and I would get like nervous, and rather than like, "Mom, how do you find love? How do you keep love?" I was like, "Mom, how do I get out of this?" Like when I was 15, 18.
Right.
She's the one who taught me how to write a Dear John letter. She's the one who taught me, like, I'd be like, how do I get out of this, really? She's like, time will take its toll and it'll just fall apart. And she was right.
Terrible advice. Just keep
No,
writing
no,
it out
just
until
stay-
no. She was like, but at the end of the year, and she goes, you're going to go away for the summer. It's going to be fine. She was looking at the next escape hatch because I was always like, how do I get out? That's
Yeah.
not the sign of a straight person, I think, that they want to get out of relationships with dudes as soon as they land the guy. They're like, how do I get out?
there are a lot of people who have commitment issues. That's not always because they're gay.
But I don't think I have commitment issues. What I've discovered is I don't. I
That's
commit
true.
to people.
You had
Don't have-
commitment issues with guys for sure.
for sure. Now let's talk about
Wait, so
Lori.
with Lori.
Okay.
So, Kim, you raised her, so why don't you start? Hey, friends, it's Terri from Generation Artax. Did you know I wrote a book? I did indeed. It's called Unfollow Your Passion: How to Create a Life That Matters to You. It was inspired by a TEDx talk I gave years ago, which dismantles the idea that you need one magical passion to live a meaningful life. You hear those air quotes, right? So if you're sick of the BS that passes for personal development and honestly think most people's advice is crap, this book is for you. Find out why staying in your comfort zone is actually a great idea, what Catholic nuns taught me about career, and how to get your critic to shut up so you can get some work done. Download a free chapter at unfollowyourpassion.com or buy it wherever books are sold.
We know you've heard Generation Artax, but are you subscribed? Hit the follow button wherever you listen to podcasts. That's one less thing to worry about and one more thing to look forward to. We'd love to keep this show going, and you can help. Please rate and review. Thanks.
La 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 la.
Lori.
Tampon and she did everything for her.
Yeah.
I did nothing for
I
Kim.
did.
I did literally nothing.
I did. That's okay. I wasn't looking for it. I was fine.
She was like, I'll ask my boyfriend for help. Thanks, bye.
Lori, I think, has pleasantly surprised herself. She used to say, maybe, maybe not about kids. And then I think she surprised herself.
Well, I was trying to lower my expectations in case it didn't happen.
She always wanted kids.
I was open to not until I.
We're open to not. Where I never really was open to not. I just couldn't even
Go ahead.
imagine
What were you
that.
saying?
But I was going to say, like, there's a talk about how we have changed so much and everything. She was always the youngest. So, and I felt like I was the one to nurture. She's
She's still
relentless. She's still the youngest, no matter what.
You were always the middle.
I continue to be to this very day. But I was very nurturing towards her. And so this whole her having kids 11 years ago is a huge change because I was nurturing towards my friends. I was nurturing towards Lori. Lori wasn't a natural nurturer, I don't think.
Yeah, but she's a fierce mama bear. She's a fierce mama bear. That's
But yes, has brought out, and also, like she said, the way she wakes her kids up, she's like, she has found this new, like you said, I found an edge. She found a softness, I think.
very good observation.
Thank you. So we're all balancing. She doesn't like what I'm saying. I'm not sure why.
No, but you know what? You're right. Two things. I'm not saying, and by the way, talking about like being less or being more medium, she's this very strong personality, but she did, as parenting can do, apparently, right? Can tap into part of you that other things might not have brought out.
Yes.
Because she's tough and like you know, like mom used to say about Lori over a little bit and be like, well, Lori will be fine. And mom would go, Lori, strong like bull, which I think may be racist. But she would say that. She'd be like, you know, Lori, you know, did you ever take a look at Lori's hands? She'd be like, look at Lori's hands. She got some
I
meat
have her
on her."
hands.
I know. She goes, she has my hands. She's strong. She's like, you don't have to worry about her, you know?
Why? Because I could throw a brick at people with my big.
No, but I mean, you're
hands.
strong. You have a strong constitution. You're stronger.
Lori at
than me.
a younger
Yeah.
Lori at a younger age than anybody I bet either of us have ever known was a whole I don't give a shit about. Like she refused to disrespect in a way that no one does in middle school, in high school.
Yeah,
she
when-
dropped people. She doesn't care. So what she is left with, she has this very carefully, perfectly curated, intense circle of friends, or actually separate circles of friends, but they are the fun. They've passed every Lori test. They have
right.
to make her laugh until she can't breathe. They have to be smart and sharp, and they have to be the most loyal friend in the world and
Yes.
the best listener and someone who likes her advice and can give her advice. Like she has this perfectly curated set of relationships in her life because she never stood for less,
Right.
ever.
This holding
Neediness.
standards. Holding
Yes.
standards.
Her
Very
standards
important.
and her boundaries are, I talk about them to Kenzie, my daughter Kenzie. This is what you need to be doing as far as your relationships. You cannot care. A lot of people, they're like, oh, I hit perimenopause, and I realize like, oh,
Lori had
whatever.
perimenopause at like 11.
Yes, Lori had that respect, but it's a respect for herself that she has. I still don't know a lot of people who have that to that
Oh,
degree.
for sure. But there's two things I was saying. Parenting will bring that out, you know, and parenting just helps you discover parts of yourself that other things wouldn't.
Yeah, but that was always her.
Okay. But you're saying the softness and the sweetness
yes.
that got
Yeah.
pulled out more. So I'm saying.
Yes, okay, yeah.
And her relationship, the person she's with has also. He's so kind. He's so loving that it has brought out like. It's kind of like you make me want to be a better man. Like her partner makes her want to be a kinder person, a better person, because she sees that there's a person who's capable of just bottomless kindness and generosity. She sees that. And also it brings out the best in her. And that's how you know it's a good partnership.
Kindness begets kindness and respect for each other. But also, okay, so but about Lori, also the humor and the sharpness is really unmatched.
Like
And
things that
she
you
has
remember?
she has such a freaky ability to remember
mimic. She's a mimic.
to
Very good
mimic,
mimic.
but also to remember like very specific scenes in the most obscure movies and shows that she can, like that, reference as perfect metaphors for anything is going on. Oh, it's like that episode. And she can
It's crazy.
and the perfect metaphor and the perfect way to explain something in almost like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a just
Autistic.
it's a I mean,
What'd you say?
Lori's questioning her neurodiverse state. But
We both come
I'm not
out.
questioning it anymore.
Lori
but
came
yeah.
out. Lori came out as neuro
ADHD.
yeah.
I'm the
Yeah, not
ADHD.
officially diagnosed, but it's all of that
But
is
it's like a
making a
big
lot more
deal
sense.
to understand how your brain works and why your brain works that way. You know.
Yeah, but the way that she uses it in that way is great for relationships, because she her ability to relate. That's her filter through which she sees everything.
Yes. If I don't understand something, I would say, Lori, like I just don't get this. I don't get it. But she will break it down to like the molecules of understanding and build it for you. Build it.
And
You
her
understand?
ability to explain things to anybody in a way that other people can't.
That's hard to find.
Yeah,
You know.
which is why she's good at her
Yes.
job.
So
And the
she-
loyalty factor. On your birthday in Boston, when we were all drinking and everything, and some girl came up to you. What
It
was the story?
Lori's birthday.
My birthday?
It was Lori's 21st.
Who
birthday.
came after Terry and Lori chased her down in an
Oh,
alley?
a woman was drunk she shoved my friend Bridget, and I said, I made the mistake of then turning to this woman because I was very protective of Bridget. And I looked at someone, I go, what the fuck are you doing? And she was like this tall girl from like Revere or something. And she was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, and her friends had to hold her back and pulled her to the corner of the club, but she stayed there. And then we forgot she was there. And at a moment, she sort of broke out and went to hit me and missed
She
me.
lunged at you.
She lunged at me and hit the girl next to me, who I saw later dancing with an ice pack on her face.
Yes.
And I tried to use my new self-defense techniques on her, but the bouncer had dragged her out.
You pushed her with your.
No, I
stomach.
pushed her. I
With her
I had hung on to a seltzer I was drinking and I threw it in her face. So I'd always wanted to do that too. It was really a dream come true. I got to douse her with the soda. I put my foot up and tried to push her. She got dragged out. Lori came upstairs out of the bathroom and she goes, "What's happening? What's happening?" We're like, "That girl."
The energy was all crazy.
She was like, "That girl just attacked her sister. You want to take a pit bull off a leash and throw her?" I was like, mm-mm-mm. She was out the bar, down the street. Lori went out and fucking, she was like yelling at that woman, like, "Come back here, bitch. I don't know. She would have gotten herself, it would have been a bad scene. I don't know how they pulled her away, but
I don't know. I could be.
I was like really like, I was very
Scrappy.
honored
She's
by
scrappy.
that. Was a
Right.
very big night.
Right.
I
But
don't.
yeah, she's very loyal. Loyalty is the
That was what I'm saying.
yes.
Regarding some of the things you said about me as younger, I don't see it. I guess I don't look at my having a tight circle of friends as having like a strict test for people. You have to be good
It's
enough.
subconscious. Of course it is. You know
I
these
guess
different
it just
people.
feels more like I don't spread myself thin in that I hate small talk and I just don't like investing any time or energy into someone I'm not going to always invest time and energy with. So I just like I'm not friends with all the moms and keep up with them and
But
go-
that's not how most people don't think that way.
I think
But
some
like
people
Laura,
are
your friends are
football
all
groups and
old
people.
friends. Your friends are all old friends. All those friends are veteran friends. They've been
Yes.
around.
Right.
Right.
All
right.
my friends I met, the ones I'm the closest to, I talk to all the time, I've only met since I moved to New York, which okay, that's now a while. But still,
long time
I met
now.
them after I turned 40.
Yeah, all my friends are like all my closest friends, except for a couple new friends, are almost all from I met at 19 or younger. Yeah,
And I still have friends from that time, but they're
Yeah, you
not the people
do.
I talk to all the time though. The
yeah, but
people
I
I'm in
like
touch with
like
are-
I talk to Mary, Aaron, and Mike like almost daily sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's me and Katie in Meg High School. All right, let me read my April
yes, yes,
23rd,
yes.
April 23rd, 1992. It was Easter vacation, a pretty boring one. Justin, who I was dating for years at this point, 92, he had been in Italy all week, so I was just kind of bumming around. Anyway, I just realized that I never wrote an entry about my sisters. I love talking about them, so I think this is a great time to do so. I've always felt deeply blessed. Hashtag blessed. For Terri, 18 years old, and Lori, 13 years old. For some reason, we've always appreciated each other. I was speaking for you. As we've gotten older and more mature, we've enjoyed each other more and more. Years ago, when we were all a lot younger, we experienced the natural jealousies that come with every age. I wouldn't call it sibling rivalry or anything. Maybe sibling something else. I don't know. Anyway, Terri and I used to hang out more often than either of us did with Lori. My mom always told us that, quote, the sands will shift. Then Terri and I were in Oak Knoll, our high school, together, and we barely even saw Lori. She just seemed to be in a different world from her. We seemed to be in a different world from her. This year, Terri went off to college, and Lori and I both go to Oak Knoll. I feel like Lori and I never even spoke before this year.
That's not true though.
I know, isn't that weird?
That's weird.
With Terri gone, Lori and I got to know each other a lot better. Soon we were staying up late on winter nights, drinking hot chocolate, and sharing stories of our lives.
That is people's dream of what a sister
I know.
is.
Hold on. It's just like how me and Terri were. Lori and I talk all the time, laugh a lot, and spend a lot of time together. We share clothes and shoes. Everything we do is like the things Terri and I did. Now, when Terri comes home for vacations, all three of us stay up at night talking and laughing. I love how the sands shifted, as my mom said. My sisters are really great, and I love our relationship. Every day I try to remember how lucky I am to have them.
You're just a big old gratitude bubble.
That is
Well,
the
here's what it is. This whole
thing.
concept of romanticize your life. I have been
You are a true
romanticizing
romantic.
my life forever. And then real quick, the next page, a month later, it just says 5/20/92 Wednesday. Life moves fast. Period. And there's nothing else in the rest of the book.
Wow.
What was that? That's the most cryptic thing. I have no idea what that is.
Wow.
But anyway,
that's
yes.
so sweet. I love that.
So
I love
there's a
that.
few things on TikTok that I've heard over the last whatever. a couple of years that have been like kind of with this whole wave of authenticity that are things that are registering with me like, oh, I've always thought that way. Romanticize your life. I've always very, very much done that actively. And then the other thing is that whole lucky girl syndrome, lucky girl theory.
What's that?
Just
What's
assume
that?
it's the assumption that everything always works out for me. I'm so lucky.
It's
everything
called the
always works out for
privilege.
me.
It's called privilege.
No, but I've had other situations in life that don't necessarily, but
Okay.
it's about the assumption that everything will, no matter what. And I've always very much had that too. So me and TikTok, I've made for social media, made for all the TikTok lines of 2025. I've been living them.
That is so sweet. Lori, now read how much you loved us.
Yeah, I spoke for you. I'm like, we all have so much fun.
Yeah, I don't think I often didn't, I don't think I often wrote at all in my journals if I was happy. I only needed the
It
journal.
doesn't mean you were miserable, right? It just meant
Right.
that's when you wrote.
Right. That's when I
fair.
wrote. If I was happy, I was just being happy and I didn't feel the need to reflect on it or work it out. I mean, I have to go through them all, really read them all to see how true that is. But that's typically when I would write. I'm very curious to hear what Aaron, Mike, and I'll ask Katie and stuff like that and Mary have to say about me becoming softer after I have kids. I don't identify with that.
I think she's become more fierce, but it's like it got deeper. Like it's like the sweetness and the love, the capacity for love deepened. But she would defend all of us. But the kids are always just what you're going to
different.
defend the most.
But that's
so
different than
out that part of you.
But that's different. Like I don't.
That's not soft.
I
That's not what you
don't-
just.
I don't think
don't
of mothers
think
as soft though. Mothers are not soft. Mothers have to be tough as hell.
But I don't think like say in my Bostonian circle or my high school group like circle that anyone I'm curious. I don't think they would describe me as like.
Yeah, but if you say, "Did I get softer?"
You
They're
describe
gonna
me as
want to
like
know
this
what.
tough bitch who like, you know what I mean? And that like I only became like friendly and soft after I had kids. But
But if
I
you
don't.
present it
say
that
that.
way, they're never going to agree with it. Because if you go, "Do you think I'm soft now?" That I'd like, they'll be like, "No, of course not." They're going to reflect back, kind of.
Hold on.
You're presenting it in a very biased way.
Yeah, and
would
I
like
didn't
to
say-
ask. I will ask.
I didn't say she softened, meaning you weren't friendly, because otherwise I wouldn't have wanted to hang out with you all the time.
Okay.
So soft didn't mean soft. I said soft as in nurturing.
Nurturing is different than nice.
That's
Nice.
different.
I also think you
None of us are
probably
nice.
wouldn't. You just wouldn't see any like the nurturing I would do for my friends.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
wouldn't
we
need to
didn't see that.
nurture- I didn't need to nurture up, right? You guys nurture down, so you just didn't.
That's
'cause
right,
I
that's
see
right.
myself as that. Like I have.
Maybe Kim seeing your nurturing down,
Yeah.
because she had never been given the experience,
Right.
I was
Yeah.
doing all the
exposure to it.
nurturing.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I would say that all of
right.
us, we also have very different lifestyles in terms of, which is interesting. So even though we talk similar, we all have the same background. It's very interesting how the three of us just have, I don't want to say characters, but like, I mean, in a way, they're very different, right? It's like,
Change though. No one was like, it's not one of us who's like, well, I'm still very Catholic. Like we all sort
Right,
of
we've
went
all
along an
morphed.
arc, and we do agree on most of those things.
Yep.
And it's not a,
Yeah.
it's not. But
I just think
still,
it's really interesting. A lot of people, they all grow up and then they all get married and they all have their 3 kids.
Yes.
That's very normal. But to have someone who's never been married, someone who's been married for 22, 3
2 years, but together 28.
20 years, and someone who's divorced and now in a blended family, right? And then someone who owns their own business and has been like running their own business and working for themselves. Someone who's been, full-time stay-at-home mom, and then I've been always
working mom,
corporate, and corporate, working mom. They're such,
homeowners. I rent.
Right.
Very different, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, other than
I've always
you and I
said this
both being in
about-
the suburbs and having 2
Totally.
kids, right?
Working in the suburbs and having kids. I always said, when we looked at each other's lives, I wouldn't want to do what you're doing, and you wouldn't want to do what I was doing. But
Right.
you realize how hard that would be in some families when someone wanted what the other one had. Imagine if I wished all I wanted was kids and a husband, and I didn't get it.
Right.
That would
We
be
all-
real hard.
Really got what we wanted in
We
the
got
end.
what we wanted. I built
Yeah.
this on purpose.
Right. And I don't remember ever being jealous, but
No.
not because I didn't like how your lives were going. I don't remember being like, well, how come she has this and I'm not
That's rare, too.
ever? Yeah,
Yeah, we never had that though.
we didn't have
Never
that.
had that.
I'm saying not one person could have had a drug problem, could have been broke, you know, and the other person, somehow it's like, I don't know. We lucked out, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I remember saying that to mom one time. I said, "You're so lucky that that none of us like, are drug addicts and we're all like, good students." Well, no, she goes, "You don't think I had anything to do with that?"
She was like, cool, cool, cool.
She's like, yeah, just
taught
luck.
you?
Just luck. Yeah.
She's like, I'm glad I found you. I'm glad I found you on the side of the street. I mean, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
That's really
great.
funny.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
no.
You're thanking me.
Thank you.
Thank
If
you.
you need help, I can help you with that. That's it. That's the end of the show. Anything you want to promote? We'll just talk to you soon. We'll talk to you next time.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Ugh, I don't like that.
All right.
You have to think about your sign off. You'll be like,
Yeah.
see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Why don't you do a Gen X thing and say Audi 5000?
Oh my God, I forgot about Audi 5000.
I never use that.
I think I did.
How I like to end it is, okay, that's enough.
All right, that'll do.
Elliot.
That'll do.
That'll do.
That'll do, pig.
That was Scottish.
That'll do. How do you do that?
It's because she was in Brigadoon.
She was in Brigadoon. Brigadoon. Her whole mouth becomes another mouth.
Wait, what was that
She makes her
character's
mouth
name
Scottish.
in Brigadoon?
Fiona.
Of course, Fiona.
Maybe Lori will send us out each time with a song. Just kidding. Goodbye. We can't say that'll do because that's from the movie. So we have to just go,
What movie?
that'll do, pig.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know what you're talking about either.
Oh, that's a movie when he's like, that'll do, pig. That'll do.
Well, I mean, a lot of people say that'll do. That's not
No,
a
that'll do,
copyrighted
pig.
thing.
That's like a famous line from that movie. It's the one movie you didn't see. My point is, I kind of love That's Enough. Sometimes I'll put that at the end of emails. And Uncle Bob used to call me and like talk me. You'd pick up the phone, he'd go, another thing. And he would just start talking. And at the end, he'd go, that's enough. And he would just hang up. He wouldn't even say goodbye.
They used to do that
That all the time in movies and TV shows.
Yeah, 90210. They'd be like, I just can't believe it's almost prom. And then they'd hang up.
No, like on a CSI, they'll be like, "Yeah, we found them by the river," and then they just hang up. You'd be like, "Hello, was there more to that?"
Not the call. It's hard. So it'd just be like,
All right, that's enough.
Okay.
all right, that's enough.
That's enough.
This episode of Generation Artax was produced by us, edited by us, and hosted by us. Our theme music is by Danielle Musto. Art and design by Ryan Andrews of ryanmade.com. Please follow, rate, and review to help save more Gen Xers from the swamps of sadness. Follow us on Instagram at Generation Artax, that's ARTAX, and visit us at generationartax.com.